The recent cuisine which I tried was Vietnamese, and it was really good. So you should try at a place called Hanoi in Indranagar. And namaste everyone. How is everyone doing today? So this is one pic which I have generated using Adobe Firefly. It's a free tool, text to image. You can just bring all your imaginations into a picture. If you need some, you can try it. Before I start with my topic, I would like to show you a pic. I want you to raise your hands if you can relate with it. So how many of you can relate with this pic? This never gets old. I've been seeing this pic for past, 5 years, and it still applies. So how many of you can correlate with this? Just raise your hands. Oh, I see a lot of hands. Then I can help you a little with this. We can't completely avoid it. So we can bring it to the level of black hole, but not lesser than that. So let's get started. So with this, I would like to present the title of my talk. It's Streamlining Node Modules and How We Can Manage the Log Files Properly. A little about me. I'm Vikram. I have 10 plus years of experience in building web applications. I have actually more experience, but I just say 10 plus so that people don't think I'm too old. I'm building campaigns UI at Adobe. And I mostly write about and talk about front-end DX, developer experience and performance. And I'm a big Marvel fan, although the 4th generation, I'm not liking it that much, but still. So this is a small pic of my family. And before I get started with how to streamline and solve the issues, I would like to get through a few things about the jargons which we are going to use today. So node modules, I know most of you already knows it, but a little bit about it, just a minute. So node modules, as we know, it's external libraries and packages. It's like a pre-written code and functionality. It's like why reinvent the wheel when we have the wheel. So we have these node modules. It enhances dev speed and efficiency. And to manage those node modules, we have package managers, which takes care of installation, versioning, and dependency management. The most used package managers on UI side is NPM and Yarn right now. But we have a new cool kid in the town, PNPM. I hope, how many of you are using PNPM? I'm not using, I'm just using on my personal records, but yeah, I'm planning to use it. And the third one is log files. It maintains consistency across environments, like whatever you develop, what you develop is what you get on the production, it's like that. It ensures the exact version is replicated even on QA, stage, and production, as we do it on dev, on our local systems. And a few examples of it are package log.json and yarn log, and PNPM log YAML file. So these are the basic things which I wanted to discuss before jumping into the challenges, the most interesting part or the scary part of having node modules and yarn, the log files. So the first challenge which I see is increasing number of dependencies. When we start with, the dependencies are small and it's easy to manage, but with time, the number of dependencies increase, it becomes mammoth. And if you don't update it from time to time, those are outdated and it comes with its own issues like vulnerabilities. I think Love yesterday discussed how dangerous it's using a vulnerable NPM module and missing, so if you don't update, you miss on a lot of performance fixes and feature fixes. Compatibility issues, because once your NPM module is outdated, when you install a new module, it will give a lot of issues. So these are a few issues of outdated dependencies. We have a lot of duplications. Same dependency installed multiple times in your yarn log. If you just go and find out yarn list, yarn y, and you can find out a lot of dependencies which are duplicated, which actually builds a big node module. It's just bloated. It takes long install and build times on your local frustrated developers. And the bundle also gets bloated, which is downloaded at the client's machine, which increases the overall page load time, okay? And that actually comes into bad. So you see the workflow, right? The cycle, it starts somewhere and it ends if it is not solved at time. And obviously it will increase the development time when you add a new plugin, then you get into a dependency hell, and coming out of that hell is really a big thing. So to make sure that we don't get into these problems, we can actually streamline and manage them accordingly. So let's start with maintaining log files. You know, log files are those gigantic files which even GitHub, scares to show. They say that I'll show you only in a raw file. So use dependencies cautiously. Like there are dependencies for even addition and multiplication. So just don't add those. If it's a small functionality, just write it yourself. Don't use dependencies. Use tilde and caret to manage your dependencies. When you do yarn add or npm install, it indirectly adds, but when we copy paste the commands directly into the package lock, package.json file, we should use this. Always commit the log files, because that will maintain the consistency between what you have developed and what your customers is going to use. Never modify the log files manually. So I've seen a couple of times people modifying it. It's an auto-generated file, so never modify it. And always, adding resolution is not recommended, but if it's required for pin transitive dependencies, you can add, so that only one version of dependencies installed and your bundle is not bloated. And I know this is a very difficult step, but review log files also when you are not completely deleting and creating new one, because it will tell how many duplicate dependencies you have added it. So this was about maintaining log files, and I'm running, okay. Streamlining node modules. This is the most important part. We have to do regular audits. So how do you do audit? You can just run yarn audit. I'll be using yarn. You can use for npm also, and this will basically tell you which packages are have problems, like vulnerabilities level high, critical, moderate. So make sure that you don't have any packages which has critical and high vulnerabilities within it. Check the outdated packages. Like you can just again run yarn outdated, and it will give you all the outdated packages which you have. Try to upgrade those packages. Don't keep it outdated. So you see, you'll get a lot. Yeah, these are the, and at the same time you can just interactively upgrade those also. So by running this command, it will give you a new nice UI wherein you can select the packages and update whichever you want. So this is about it. Deduplicate it, and you can automate it in your CI/CD pipeline. But all of this is manual, and it's quite boring. I think, as Kamlesh was telling, if we give these number of steps to our developers, the developers are going to say, when shall we go with the development? So to save this, we have something cool. It's called Renovate Bot. Okay, how many of you have used Renovate Bot? Yeah, I see a couple of hands. It's really helpful. It does all of it by itself. You need not spend a lot of energy and time into it. It has automatic dependency updates and audits. So it internally uses talks to Sync. Sync is a security platform, and which has a big database for maintaining which node modules, npm modules have issues, and it talks to it. It integrates with it. It has a configuration wherein you can the bot can run once a week, once a month, every day, every hour. You can just configure it. And it can create PR and also merge it if you put it in your CI/CD pipeline. It has that level of integration with the version control systems like GitHub, GitLab, and all. So how does it work? That's it. Just 2 steps. You install Renovate Bot on your machine, on your GitHub, and just create a renovate.json with a couple of settings. The basic one is just 2-3 liner, but if you want schedule, you want which kind, how to group them and all, you can just create one renovate.json, and that's it. It starts creating the PRs. So if you see this, you just have to integrate Renovate Bot. What we do is we run it every sprint once, so that we don't have so many PRs created, and it creates it properly, and that's it. It's like just fun. So I'll just create how the PR looks when you create using Renovate. I just have a sample PR. So this is the PR which is getting created. Okay. I picked a very old repository. That's why it gives a lot of dependency issues. But if you do it every month, it won't be that large. So yeah, Microsoft fans, give him a cheer. Okay. So yeah, I think that was happy coding. If you have any questions, I'm outside waiting. So thank you everyone.